Hey everyone, Ryan here. So let's talk about Goosebumps number 51, Beware of the Snowman. So this book is about Jacqueline and her aunt Greta. Jacqueline doesn't have any parents anymore. Basically, Disney dead mom syndrome, essentially. So they move from Chicago to this northern town, I guess village called Sherpia, which is in the Arctic Circle. They specifically say in the book here that they leave during midwinter break, which is definitely a weird time to leave. Anyways, so Serbia is supposedly in the Arctic Circle, but there is apparently a mountain range, or at least a mountain, like very close to the village. In my head, being Canadian, I kind of imagine it as being a situation kind of like how the town of Frank Slide was like directly at the base. Hang on here. Like here is the mountain, and like Frank Slide is like right here. I kind of picture that being with how Sherpia is essentially kind of like looking visually. In my head, it's kind of like a mixture of the brightly colored houses and everything from like Newfoundland and Labrador, um, just like bright primary colors. And I know they don't say this in the book, but from my experience and whatnot of what happens in Nunavut and other very far northern places in Canada, um, realistically speaking, if Sherpia was an actual village up within the northern Arctic Circle, and if it had to have a mountain range, it would be most likely around um, the Cordillera Range in Canada, which is basically extremely far northeast, and that would be like super super far northeast in the territory of Nunavut. Um, Places like that, all of their pipes and everything are generally above ground. And they also have, in places like Nunavut, because it is the Arctic Circle, they have windowless buildings a lot of the time. So, to me, a place like Sherpia, Sherpia would be brightly colored buildings and everything, just like in the Maritimes of Canada, but also super close to this mountain, like Frank Slide, Alberta, in the Crow's Nest Pass. If you want to look that up, you can. It's yeah, I won't get into that now. Maybe I should make a video about that in the future. Anyways, so brightly colored houses and everything, um, like sewer and water lines and gas lines and all that kind of stuff being above ground because obviously the permafrost and everything. And one thing that really bugs me about the design logic in this book, and I think other people on YouTube have pointed it out too, is if so Aunt Greta says that in Sherpia it snows all the time, which again the Arctic Circle and Nunavut and Inuit and all that, that's not true. They have summertime there. Not sound right, but they do have summertime there. They also have how long is that? Hang on here. Uh, I am doing a Google because I don't remember the exact amount of time. Sorry for this dead air. I don't know how to edit live camera stuff yet. So the summers roughly in this area of the world, you're averaging around 11 degrees Celsius in July to like around 6 degrees. That's pretty much what's like for summertime heat. So they do have summer, and 6 degrees Celsius and 11 degrees Celsius is definitely warm enough to melt snow and ice. So, theoretically speaking, if you are living in a place where it's snowing so much that there's is never the season of summertime, you wouldn't be building houses and stuff with flat, low roofs. That makes no sense. So that is going to collapse. That is a engineering nightmare. You want high peak roofs. Anyways, getting that minor detail out of the way, that just bugs me, being someone who has to deal with heavy snowfall and minus 45 to minus 50 conditions for weeks on end in wintertime. It's getting out of the way. In regards to the atmosphere of the book, I wanted to talk about Jack London's short story from 1908, To Build a Fire. This also takes place essentially in Canada. And let me just see here. To build a fire, Jack London. It's pretty much about a man turned aside from the main Yukon Trail where he kind of gets lost and everything. It's a really, really good short story. I highly suggest people read it. But the main point of the story is that I think one of the reasons why people think this book is so effective at creating like a tense atmosphere and everything is because how much it focuses on the wind, how beautiful snow can be, but also how annoying and terrifying it can be, and the just cold numbness. If any of my viewers here have spent a lot of time in the wintertime doing winter sports, hockey, snowboarding, skiing, hiking, whatever. Do snowball fights count as a sport? Sure, why not? Snowball fights, yeah. We all have experience, like, or even if you're not living in a very wintry place, just like sticking your hand in your deep freezer for a few minutes. All of your blood rushes away from your fingers, from your limbs and everything, and from your scalp eventually, because all the heat is trying to stay within your central core, which is why you get frostbite on your ears, on your nose so fast, because all the blood is spreading away. And in spoilers for this story that's over 100 years old by now, To Build a Fire, the man pretty much passes away due to just the harshness of the cold, because like we say in science, cold is everywhere. The only reason why there isn't cold is because there's a heat source. So pretty much the amount of cold there is in the universe is completely the amount of heat in the universe, sorry, for all the stars and everything that's out there and all the planets and whatnot. Cold is still the dominating force. Period. So, so I should probably focus on the actual characters now. Okay, I think I've routed on enough about the like environmental setting and everything like that. There's a mountain. There is a village that has terrible infrastructure planning. It apparently snows all year round, and there is no spring, no fall, or summer. So, I really hope you get good at walking in snowshoes. Because if it is snowing that much, constantly, like realistically speaking, either they have an amazing grader service with fly-in, fly-out diesel and whatnot all the time to keep your generators running and to keep the snowplow machines running. Otherwise, it's gonna be a pretty tough village to live in. But maybe I'm just being too realistic and I'm like sucking all the fun out of this book. I am going to be flipping through here. Right, I want to talk about the village and their kind of cult-like scenario here. And So essentially, the entire point of this book is everyone is building snowmen, identical snowmen to be precise, on their driveways, kind of like as a like a not a sacrifice or anything, but more as like I guess like a warding off sign. Which again is very cult like when it comes to Jacqueline wanting to go up the mountain. Just she's just exploring and whatnot, the village with her as your American way does. Sorry guys, it's just how yeah. She's being rather rude and everything, just walking to people's houses. Like she walks into Conrad's house, I guess cabin. That's I guess the base of the mountain. Just walks in, and when he you know accuses her of breaking in and demands to know who she is, yeah, you're in the back room with your tamed wolf, Wolfbane, just doing whatever, maybe cutting some logs or something. Maybe he was cooking a puffin, or maybe he was cooking some seal blubber or whatever. Because that's gonna be your diet up there. It's lots of fat, lots of that kind of thing. And some random young girls stumbles in, and then when because we are seeing it through Jacqueline's perspective, she assumes that this guy who is rightfully angry with her for doing a home invasion on him, right? She assumes that he's crazy, which is absurd and everything, and then she leaves and storms out in a huff. And she says to keep going up the mountain with Conrad warning her, beware the snowman, beware the snowman. And she's very entitled, very stubborn in her ways, which, I mean, we've all been at a certain age, at a certain point, and people just don't like authority. That's just how it is, I guess. And so she tries to go up the mountain and everything after meeting two kids, Rolanda and Eli. Eli is most likely a creep. What does he do? He no, that's not it. Again, I apologize for all the dead air that I'm making here, but those are the breaks. This is also I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. This book is only so large, and yet I cannot find the page I want to find. I am sorry, audience. No, that's when she's being a home invader. That's aha. Here we go. So Rolanda and Eli. Again, sorry. I'm sure that was so entertaining seeing me flip through a book and cover up half the screen with the bottom of the book. That's what you get. This is all just going like a freight train. Wait a minute. Hang on here. It was midwinter. I'm reading off of the lower part of page 7. It was a midwinter break. The school here was closed. Aunt Greta and I passed on our way through the village. A small gray stone building, not much bigger than a 2-car garage. Okay, I must have skipped over that part because, again, a stone building in the Arctic Circle. That is the only logical way I can see that actually working is if you had a massive source of central heat in the building, so a wood burning, coal burning stove, and a lot of insulation. Otherwise, that is going to be a ice box. Period. With how much snowfall they're getting and everything like that. How many kids would be in my class, I wondered? 3 or 4, just me, and will they all speak English? Again, not to be this guy, but realistically, I think English is going to be maybe the 3rd language spoken in this village. I'm not flipping people off, I'm just, yeah. Okay, sorry. YouTube, ignore that. realistically speaking here, English is going to be probably the third language at best, the second language spoken by the locals in this area. More likely, they will probably be speaking some form of Inuit spoken language. I cannot remember what that's called off the top of my head, but I know it has like triangles and stuff in the like writing part of it. So, anyways, interesting that Stein points that out that um, there could be a possible language barrier. Obviously, this isn't the case, but again, if you're just gonna be, if I personally decide to quit living where I'm living in Canada, just move up to Iqaluit, Nunavut, which is the capital up there. People do speak English up there, but it's not as expected. Like if somebody walked up to me and they knew I was a newcomer, they probably would speak English because of my appearance and whatnot, and the fact that I'd be new in town. But you would living up there, it would definitely benefit you to hop on like Duolingo or something and learn a bit of like the main cultural language up there. I'm just saying, make it a bit easier for you. Ease of life's thing. Again, this is very rambly. I'm trying to hit the points that I want to hit here, people. Um, I don't know how long this video could be. This video could be like an hour long. I just hope that I'm speaking clear enough for everyone to hear. Right, I want to talk about Eli being a total creep. Sorry. That's right. He wraps his icy fingers around her neck, and with the way he's kind of dressed, it reminds me of like uh, Kyle from South Park. With the way he's kind of dressed, he kind of has like similar like toque and whatnot, like a similar color jacket, like a brownish jacket. Um, yeah, and even Rolando even calls him a total creep, anyways. And then Eli responds creepily, "Thanks for the compliment," he said with a grin. Eli thinks it's funny to scare any new kids. I think Eli has a oh, what the heck is the term? Anti-societal, like whatever. Oh, antisocial, like disorder maybe, because he likes scaring new kids, and you know, it's not cool to walk behind someone who's new in town or anyone in general really and just like grab the back of their neck. That is very creepy. That is completely within someone's personal space. Like that is just not cool, dude, at all. I think everyone's growing up knowing at least one person like Eli, that has like zero compromise for individual space or in like zero social cues and all that. Just completely anything bad that you point out to them that they're doing, they just take it as like a boastful act, like something to be proud of, basically. So don't be like those people. And if you are those people, please like get help or something. Maybe you're on the spectrum. I don't know. I don't want to be causing a flame war on the YouTube comments, but Eli is a creep, and Rolanda seems to be someone who is like mature, like double her age, probably because having to deal with Eli, and essentially being a second mother to him. Let's be honest, she probably is. Right. I am backtracking here, but the whole cultic aspects and everything of the village and whatnot, having to like build snowmen and everything. Cults like to use this thing of forcing you to do what everyone else is doing, even against your will and whatnot. So that's kind of a red flag. Like, you must make a snowman. Make one now. Do it. Type of thing. And also, beware the forbidden bunk and all that type of thing. Like, beware this super obvious thing that's in a surrounding area that you cannot go around or ask any questions about or anything. Just do not talk about it. And clearly that's being indoctrinated into the kids because Rolanda gives the excuse of, you can't go up to the top of the mountain because it's closed for services. Yeah. It's closed for services. You know, someone put a wet floor sign up there as a prank one day and everyone took it as super serious type of thing. That was a lame joke. Anyways, so yeah, it's kind of like, you can't go here, you can't cross this line type of thing. Very much like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, with the elders in that village kind of saying, you can't go out for medicine or anything like that. Spoilers for The Village, by the way. I'm sorry. So, what did we ask me what it means? Ask me what it means. Ah. If you're a Doug Walker fan, you might know what that is. That's an old reference for old YouTube. Hey. Yeah, so there's that poem and everything, which again is a cult-like indoctrination tactic of kind of just pounding phrases and words into people's heads and making them like recite things and everything. That kind of like comes back and it's like forced into your subconscious. I also don't. I agree with Michael Goosebumps fan and how he hates this poem because it does have a very weird rhyming pattern. I agree with you, Michael. So that's frustrating. Um, what else can I talk about? Greta tries to like gaslight Jacqueline within this book at a few points where she's like whispering at night behind the attic door and everything. Also, hang on, is she sleeping in the attic? Right, and also kind of a cult-like thing is using the church as a very much. Well, I mean, churches are sacred places, and churches are for more than just religious things. They are also used as a great community hub. So there's that. Um, yeah, churches can be more than just one thing for one building. Well, they're a building with like multiple purposes. Let's put it like that. I'm not trying to make this a big fight in the comments. This is the book's usage of their church and their village. They use it as a main focal point for meetups and everything, which is fine. Um, that's Eli being a creep again. Take a shot every single time I call Eli a creep in this video. Hopefully you don't end up dead. And if you do, don't sue me. Right, here we go. This is where Alan Greta like basically tries to gaslight her. When I finished, I looked up to find the strangest expression on Aunt Greta's face. Her eyes had gone all watery, and her chin trembled. Her cheeks were even paler than usual. Is that Greta a Tim Burton character? Maybe. Nothing, she replied sharply, turning her face away from me. Nothing at all, Jacqueline, but I don't remember that rhyme. Liar! I don't think I've ever heard it before. She fiddled nervously with her long white braid. Are you sure? I asked timidly. Of course I'm sure, she snapped. Oh, sorry. Of course! Take over the world, of course! Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so she is gaslighting her. Also, on page 35, chapter 10, I couldn't sleep that night. My new bed felt hard. I kept imagining that low ceiling was sinking, dropping down on me. You're probably not imagining it. All I'm picturing is like pale moonlight shining in through the window, casting like a half, like a half shadow of the room and everything, right? Like a very pale blue, slightly white light, and then all I'm hearing is just the creaks and groans of the timber joists and everything above her head, and just in the corner here and there, it's like little drifts of snow falling in because Again, flat roof, a low slung flat roof is a terrible idea for a building. Yeah. The snow clouds had drifted away, and half a moon appeared low in the sky. The moonlight washed in through my round window, casting long, shifting shadows over my room. That's some nice imagery there, Stein. Wolf howls, right? Wolf bane and everything. There's so much gaslighting in this book. Like Rolanda does it, Eli does it, and everything, and eventually Jackson kind of has him snap out of it, in a sense, and they follow her and whatnot. And so, should I talk about the twist or not? This is running 23 minutes already. Yeah, I'll talk about the twist. Why not? I'll make it really fast because I don't want this to be like a super long video from our first video with lots of like rambling and dead pauses. I'm sorry, people. So I kind of like this twist. I like the so this twist to me is like a very much like a pull the rug out from underneath you type thing. The monster has a pretty cool looking design and whatnot. I'll give Stein that, and it's so simple that it's just kind of like oh really, they're going that way. It does feel like the whole like Star Wars twist type thing. Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars fans don't hate me. I think that's the movie where he's like, no, Luke, I am your father, or whatever. I can't do a James Earl Jones voice. I'm sorry. Um, it's pretty much, hey, we're going to be doing this, but it's the whole idea of like him turning things around over and over again to you think they're going like one way like as far as a cliche wise, but they're not. And the ending with the snow. So the Snowman army that gets called up by Conrad, I think Conrad does essentially spoilers. Conrad is um, the old hermit or whatever who lives on the base of the mountain that Jacqueline just invades his home at the start of the book. He is her long lost dad. Then Aunt Greta is just I think just Aunt Greta, and they end up making a monster type thing, and then they try to seal it away in the mountain and whatnot, and the snowmen are there to ward off the creature. So at the end of the book, there's a big confrontation of, I'm your father, Jacqueline, please release me, and do you remember the poem? And then she eventually remembers the poem, and then we have some BS wind thing that flies away the page that has the rest of the poem to, and she reads it and everything. The monster, all the snow that was like encapsulating the monster all kind of like melts away and whatnot. I think like Guillermo del Toro would have a lot of fun with like that sequence, and so it ends up being an actual monster. Ugh. Um, and it's a lot of like dramatic, like no, and backstabbing, and you betrayed me, and whatever. Also, the Snowman army in the end, they basically just like gang pile on this like beast of a monster in the end there, and like I guess make him frozen solid. And it kind of ends with a little tongue in cheek. The snowmen want to go down back off the mountain because they're cold. Which, in that case, are these magical snowmen warm blooded? I guess. They must be warm blooded because if they're freezing and they're also feeling the effects of hypothermia and frostbite. Snowmen are people! Alright, and on that, thank you for watching. Bye.